I'm here to report a terrible crime. This one.
Welcome back to my channel. Harley here to bring you today's dose of madness. We got this from Fox News clip. Sharia law concerns McKinney residents speak out at city council meeting. So I've been kind of warning on this channel and now about, the Muslim Brotherhood and what their plans are for basically world domination, guys. And that's not my words. That was something they stated. And you can see that coming into fruition when you look at what's going on in Europe, in Paris, in, Ireland, Scotland. Luckily for some of those states, those countries, I should say, are rising up against this now. So it's definitely been trying to make its way over here. As I stated, they are literally saying that they want to make the whole globe Muslim. They said that you start with the lower level, offices, and you work your way up until you're able to become into the presidency where you can just make all these rules. So this has been happening very slowly, but now I feel like it's been ramping up even more. So we're gonna go ahead and jump into the video. Before we do, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Share. And so let's go ahead and jump into the video.
I'm a Sharia law survivor from Iran, and I'm here to tell you this is a dangerous ideology you're allowing in their country.
That they force their way into countries and force their religion.
It may become a base where young men and women will be taught and trained to overthrow this great nation, a threat for which my forefathers fought with their own blood to build for the liberty of its citizens.
Yeah, their concerns might have some merit. Here's what one state representative had to say.
The Imam of the McKinney Islamic Association, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Jabali, holds leadership roles with the Islamic Tribunal of the Dallas area. The Attorney General stated that the group has sought to replace actual courts of law, impose Sharia on disputes among Texas Muslims, and falsely represent its decisions as final judgments without the approval of the Texas judicial system.
Yeah, other Islamic centers and mosques across the country are also reportedly facing opposition in the South, primarily there, you see. Okay, meanwhile, there reportedly have been over 20 attacks on Catholic churches and institutions this year, including last week here in New York City, where the smashing of a statue of the Virgin Mary by a masked man is being investigated as a possible hate crime.
Now notice, guys, all our, and it's not just our country, but like in Europe, like I said, in Spain, in Paris. So you're having churches that had stood the test of time, that have been there for 150, 200 years, that were standing there, and through everything, they've never crumbled. And all of a sudden, when we get an influx of these people, all of a sudden, they're on fire. All of a sudden, they're burning up. All of a sudden, they're crumbling. They're doing this on purpose. They're trying to literally, push you out, push your religion out. They're trying to enforce theirs by destroying yours. And we definitely should not be allowing this, because it's funny how you can't say anything against Muslims because then it's considered Islamophobia, but yet people could say whatever about Christians and Christianity and Catholicism. Yeah, that's not going to play here, guys. I'm going to call it like I see it. And I don't care if you're left, right, or center leaning. I don't care if you're, pro-Islam, pro-Christianity, pro-Judeo. I don't care whether you're pro or against those things. I'm just going to call it like I see it. I'm going to call balls and strikes. And that's why I was telling you guys that this is part of their playbook. They're going to go ahead and do this and destroy everything because they're literally just trying to push their agenda. They're trying to literally overtake everything. And I think here in, America, we need to wake the F up, because we can't allow this to stand, guys. We need to be able to push back and fight back through the ballot box. We need to push this out and say, no, we're not having this here. This is a Christian country. It was created, based off the Christian belief. So if you don't like it, kick rocks.
All right, guys, listen, you can't exclude a religion under the First Amendment.
And it's not a religion,
say, hey, this
technically.
specific center has ties to what this presidency would say it could be a foreign terrorist organization because of the ties to some organizations, but also this implementation of Sharia law. If you just want to talk about Sharia law, I mean, freedom of religion, gender equality, criminal punishment, rights of minorities, and LGBTQ plus individuals. Those are all things that different organizations say Sharia law violates, even under our own Constitution.
Yep.
Yeah, this is horrifying to me. I understand we have the freedom of religion, but
See, that's the biggest mistake I think Americans are making. They're classifying Islam as a religion. It's not. It's literally a terrorist cult. I don't care. People could come at me in the comments. I really don't care. I'm just going to tell you what I'm seeing. These people, and they've been openly admitted this, they're using our Constitution against us. They're using our verbiage against us, which is why they're laughing at us saying, they're not going to do nothing because all we have to say is Islamophobia. This is our religion, when it really isn't,
there is a real concern that not only Sharia law, but just that these mosques are cropping up in large portions of Texas, by the way. If you've been to Texas recently, you know that there are a lot of residents that are concerned. And I think it goes back to taking a look at who we're importing in this country, right? So you have the freedom of religion, but to be brought here or come here illegally from another country and then try to change the very fabric and basis of our culture and the way of life, especially when it comes to Sharia, is deeply insulting to many Americans. And it's actually really frustrating that we have to tiptoe around this and we have to try to make it seem like this is okay and that Sharia is freedom of religion. It's not. There's a lot of horrifying things within Sharia that we should absolutely oppose, and we should look at any of these mosques and any ties that they have to foreign terrorist organizations, because oftentimes if you look under the hood, you're going to find a lot.
Joe, some states have banned, a bunch of states actually, Alabama, Arizona, Florida, even North Carolina, which was one of those states on the map. So they've passed laws and amendments that that prohibit any type of what I call kangaroo court, community court that circumvents the laws of the land. But they can't pass a law that says, Islam is not legal in our county.
Of course not.
And that is kind of the catch-22 of it all. I mean, if you wanted to play devil's advocate, you could say, well, if you can't have this, you can't have that. So if you can't have Islam, you can't have, you pick your poison of any other number of religions. I think the difference is in this country, we're at war right now today with a country run by at least a certain type of Islam that says world domination is the goal.
Absolutely. And we actually have even politicians that have been elected who have said that Israel should not exist, does not have the right to exist. That's fake Dr. Abdul Al-Said, for instance, running in Michigan, or Zohran Mamdani in the past, comments that he has made, his wife has made. Hassan Piker, who is the mascot of the Democrat Party, saying that America deserved 9/11 and that Jews are, quote, inbreds, unquote. I could go through about 1,000 other things that this guy has said as well. So that's the thing. Can you stop mosques from being open? No, of course not. It's religious freedom. But then making up your own laws within the confines of this country that circumvent our laws, obviously that's a whole bowl of wrong. But you pointed out before, Joey, what's happening in the South, particularly in Texas, is very interesting, right? Princeton,
alarming.
Plano, Frisco. I mean, Frisco is a pretty big city. Yeah, McKinney as well down in Texas. This is spreading, and the irony is that it's happening in the Deep South, where normally Christianity or the Protestant religion rules the day.
Anita, you can't say this is racist or even anti-Islamic, because the concern is about the types of laws and rules that happen within these communities. I don't remember the name of it, but there is a city that's being built in Texas that the AG, Ken Paxton, I believe, was looking at, and they really haven't had a lot of legal teeth there. But it's not unprecedented in the state of Texas. When the fundamentalists came down and created a community in Texas from Utah, Texas rolled in with their rangers and said, hey, we hear some bad stuff's happening. We're going to shut this down. It seems like they would at least have that much legal power regardless of religion if something like that is happening.
Well, I think there are some legitimate questions to be asked. We all heard from the woman who took to the podium. I didn't see what her title was, but she said there are some concerns that this mosque would be instituting Sharia law in some of these courts affiliated with the mosque throughout the Muslim community in Texas. I mean, I don't know, this passed 7-0 by the city council there. So my question would be, did anybody investigate these concerns? That's my question.
That is the question. Listen, you can't outlaw a religion, but you can outlaw illegal activity, and I think that's the connection that either isn't there, in which case the city council has no other choice, or is there and they're doing a heck of a job hiding it.
Stop importing people who hate you. That's also another great idea.
That's exactly right. All right.
So, that's what we have right now. You know what I find funny, guys, is that, like he said, Texas is extremely red state, extremely Catholic, Christianity, Protestant. I'm surprised that these people are allowing this to happen in their state. They need to pass a law saying Sharia law is banned. plain and simple. Congress, the Senate, they need to pass a law saying it is banned. Again, I get it. Some people are going to say Islam is a religion, but honestly, it's not. It's a terrorist organization. We need to call it like we see it, guys, because look at all the stuff that they're doing. That you have these guys, you know, in other countries that are murking people, okay? And they don't care. They're also raping people. So I'm sorry, that's not a religion, okay? That's a terrorist organization that what's on their mind is world domination. And we need to nip that in the butt. You know, we need to ship these guys all back to where they came from and not have that type of stuff here in this country. But you guys let me know your thoughts in the comment below. I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you won't miss what comes next. Till next time, guys.